It's a teen talk skating podcast where I embarrass myself. Hello, and welcome to episode number 93 of the Teen Talk Skating podcast. My name is Van Gogh, and I host this podcast. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys are all doing very well this week. I feel like everything happened. Gosh, guys, November is always such a weird month for me. I swear, everything always happening in November for some reason. And I don't know, I'm kind of happy with it though, because I feel like I'm actually learning a lot of things about myself recently and a lot of things about, I don't know, I guess I've just been learning a lot of things about myself. Does that make sense? I've just been learning about me and how I do things and how I think and how I reason and how I manage my life, and I'm trying to fix certain things. I'm trying to encourage myself to keep doing certain things like that. But genuinely, I wanted to crash out so bad this whole week, and I kind of did crash out. But I don't know, oh, stuff happening, guys, and it always makes you think about stuff, I guess. And so I don't know, tons of things happen this week, and tons of things just, tons of things happen. I'm just but genuinely, I think I did learn a lot and everything. So, and I'm still learning, and there's still things that are gonna happen and things that are gonna keep on happening. I don't know. But I hope you guys are all doing very well. I hope you guys are having a good November. I don't know, it's always getting busy November, December era. And I don't know. I feel like these months go by so fast because of the holidays and all the studying I have to do and everything. So yeah, that's kind of my main complaints right now, my main ideas right now. But yeah, I'm gonna go over to the podcast, not podcast, the program of the week now. So yeah, I'll see you there, okay? Program of the week, it's fun. There's a theme song. Yeah. Program of the week. Okay, our program of the week this week, I feel like it's an underrated program, and I honestly kind of forgot about it until I watched it again today. And I don't know why this program is such a very diva program without it necessarily being a very diva theme, I guess. And this is Gabrielle Delman and her short program at the 2016 Trophée de France, or what used to be the name of the current Grand Prix de France before it was the International de France, and all the names. But this one was the 2016 Trophy de France, the French trophy, basically, the Grand Prix. Her short program was set to the music of Hérodiade by Jules Massenet, Hérodiade by Jules Massenet. Um, but this is a very classically based program, but I almost feel like with Gabrielle Zaleman, and I think this is a good program that shows how personality can affect a program so much. I think this is such a classical program, but at the same time, she's kind of diva-ing her way through it. It's kind of like she didn't want to skate to classical music. She's like, the coach made you skate to classical music, but you actually wanted to skate to pop music. And so this is what you kind of do now. There's so many moves that are just so dynamic and very explosive in this program. It's just not very I guess stereotypically classical, but I love that it kind of breaks the barrier of that. I think it's a very well built program. But yeah, this program by Gabrielle Delman, her triple toe is so good. I absolutely love her triple toe. So much height, so much distance, and on the last jump, she kind of very much does that very nice bend in her knee, and on the landing, it's just it's so good. I really enjoy her first spin going into her first spin. She does this kind of flippy jump moment, and then she does a cool lunge really quick because showing off those really strong leg muscles or something. She does that really cool extended lunge, and then she goes into her layback spin. Same thing going into her second spin. After that first spin, she kind of moves out of it. She kind of does some crossovers and then does a split jump and then gets into a camel spin, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, just a random split jump as a transitional element, very much on the beat of the music. It's really nice. And then she gets into her other jumps in the program. The triple lutz is really well done. Goes, does some crossovers real quick, and gets into that double axel. Also, of course, really well done. And after that double axel, she kind of does this head flip, I guess, where her head is leaning, her torso is leaning backwards, but her legs are kind of forward in a spread eagle. And she does that a couple times through the program actually, where she kind of just like bam, and with her head like back while her legs are still in like a spread eagle-ish position. Really interesting. A lot of head flipping in this program, just a lot of good sassy energy almost. And it's just, it's just classical. It's like, very balletic in a sense. It's quite powerful as well. But I don't know what it is about this program. I just like the bombasticness of it, I guess. It's so explosive. It's like, bam, let me do that. Bam. And her confidence on the landing of her jump, she's puts her arms in the air and her jump's like, yeah, I just landed that. Like, watch me, people. Like, I don't know. It's just a good vibes in this program. It's confident, it's good, and it's just classical music that I feel like is just so like, oh, it's a really good classical music too. But just her energy just mhm. Her step sequence is really good, and then towards the end of the program, she does this like line of 3 jumps in a row, but not like jumps, just like split jumps basically, and like choreographic jumps, and it's really good. And she ends off with a last spin, and it's really great. And she's obviously very happy about it, and that kiss and cry reaction is amazing. So go check it out after you listen to this episode. The 2016 Trophy de France short program by Gabrielle Dielman, set to the music of Herodiade by Jules Massenet. And then it's time for our main episode. That was your program of the week. Okay, technical difficulties question mark. Okay, before we get into talking about the third Grand Prix, there was this interesting incident I found on YouTube. There was a strange interview with Miss Isabel Levito of the USA, which the title of the video was Isabel Levito I don't remember why actually. I don't remember what it was. Isabel Levito explains why figure skaters don't tan, which I feel like is an interesting question to ask. Why do figure skaters not tan? Is it not a little clear why figure skaters don't really tan? Um, I don't know. I think it was mostly a joke. I hope it was a joke, and I hope it wasn't an actual question someone asked because it's a little clear why figure skaters don't really tan. It's not really like on the beach, nothing. Their sport is not really, on sand or something, in the bright sun. So that's why they don't really tan. But I don't know if it was actually a joke. I am concerned if it was not a joke. But if it was a joke, it was kind of funny but kind of confusing. That's all I wanted to say about Isabel Vito and tanning. But then apparently she said she went on vacation to get tan. So I actually don't know. Anywho, yeah, I guess. Anyway, the third Grand Prix of this Olympic Grand Prix season for figure skating is the 2025 Skate Canada International. Um, usually Skate Canada is the second Grand Prix, at least it has been for the past couple of years, but new scheduling in this Olympic season got me a little confused. It is the third Grand Prix. Somehow Skate Canada always falls on like Halloween weekend. So it was quite scary, not gonna lie. Though I am very, very surprised and honestly kind of happy, but not happy at the same time, that we got halfway through the Grand Prix already. 3 of them have gone by. There's only 3 more in the next 3 weeks that I'm gonna discuss. And so this was actually like interesting to see like, oh, we're halfway through already, which I feel like every single week gets faster and faster and faster. And like before you know it, we will literally be at the Olympic season, and we will or not Olympic season, we will be at the literal Olympics. We're already in the Olympic season. It's gonna be February soon. We're literally gonna be at the Olympics. We're literally gonna be like watching people get gold medals and stuff. And so that is really crazy to me. So I just realized like halfway through the Grand Prix is kind of crazy. But anyway, the 2025 Skate Canada International was held in Saskatoon in the province of Saskatchewan in Canada. Which seemed very, very nice, seemed very like cool and city vibes and cute. I feel like Skate Canada is always a cute event. I don't know why. I feel like sometimes the Grand Prix they make them seem so scary and stuff, but I always find Skate Canada to be very, very wholesome for some reason. Most of the time, maybe not this year. I don't know. I find Skate Canada to be, I don't know, maybe it's the audience. I always feel like the audience at Skate Canada is always clapping. They're always so positive. It just seems like the crowd that you would wanna root for. I don't know, maybe it's the Canadian stereotype that Canadian people are, like, always super nice, and I don't know. Maybe that's, like, the thing. I don't know, I'm sorry to stereotype Canada, I'm sorry. But I always swear, like, Skate Canada is always a cute, nice competition. Last year, they had that really scary hanging moose head in the air. That did not happen this year in Saskatchewan. Last year, what was it? Last year, we were in Vancouver, was it? I can't remember what city we were in Skate Canada last year, but this year in Saskatoon, there was no scary moose hanging over the arena, so there was no cursing in that regard. Again, like I said, the audience is always super nice in Canada. Um, I do know that in Canada, they kinda do have issues with getting a lot of audience people, members, and stuff. I remember, I think 2 Canadian nationals ago, there was this huge debate, huge problem with not being able to sell a lot of tickets for nationals and getting people to come watch and everything. So maybe that's, like, something to kinda think about. I don't know, Canada always has, like, never, like, full audience seats except for, like, Worlds in Montreal was really, really full. But Skate Canada this year was definitely not super full, but I think the crowd that was there was a very, very positive crowd. Unfortunately, they did not hold a gala after the main competition. This might have been due to scheduling, or this might have been due to low demand. That's what I'm kind of seeing. Low interest and low demand. Again, that kind of connects back to the audience issue with, more people want to watch the actual competition than watch like the fun gala afterwards, which is totally fair. And so maybe they were just concerned that they wouldn't be able to sell a lot of tickets to the gala, and so they just didn't have a gala at all. But I would have loved to see a gala. Gala performances are always fun, obviously, really stress relieving after the stress of the competition. But oh well. What else? I guess I should start talking about the actual competition. But before I talk about that, I want to talk about the scoring here. Okay, the scoring was kind of scary here. Not gonna lie, the scoring here was so random. I feel like it was scary in the sense that it was so random. It was kind of all over the place. You were either really loved by the judges, or they really were strict on you, or they were really, really lenient on you, or they were just like, whatever. Like, were the judges in the building? Like, were they like, what were they doing? And like, I don't actually know. It's like they changed personalities and thinking and mindsets for every single skater. Like, obviously, there's differences in this game, obviously, but some of these, like, I was very shocked by some of these scores across all of the disciplines, not just, one specific discipline. But the technical panel with the technical controller seemed very strict at sometimes and not very strict at others. And it was like, did they catch a mistake or no? That was more clean and they should have called it as clean. It was a little crazy and it did cause a lot of debate, I feel like, on figure skating Reddit as far as I saw. And I'm sure like on X and Blue Sky and all those other platforms and Instagram and everything. But genuinely, I was a little confused because some of the, it would look a little under rotated, it would look a little this, it would look a little that. And I'm just like, and then it would look super clean and they would give it a UR. I'm like, huh. You know what I mean? It was just a little strange. Were the judges in the building or were we sending in the clowns? Like, quite literally. Unican, where are you? Yeah. But anyway, let's talk about our competition. Let's start, of course, with the men's discipline. The men's discipline was, I honestly would say the men's, well, actually, no, it was pretty chaotic. I was gonna say, nah, the men's was not chaotic this time. No, the men's was the men's. What do you expect, people? So let's start off in 10th place. And in 10th place here was Kevin Amos of France. Kevin Amos is kind of a very much up and down skater. Sometimes he is consistent. Sometimes he is a little inconsistent. We've seen him score anywhere from like the 280s, I want to say, and much lower in like the 180s in two different competitions that are really close to each other. Not the most consistent skater. Here was a good example of that, unfortunately for him. He was fifth place in the short program. Relatively clean skate, only did a triple toe instead of getting that quad toe, triple toe done. But still a good skate, very good component scores, a lot of ones, or at least the top placing in the components. Very good components, and the step sequence was excellent as well. This is his Lady Gaga program. I do think it fits very well. It does feel very Kevin Amos. I think it is really good. His free skate this season is back to his Bolero program. He was 11th in the free skate, unfortunately. Got a really good quad toe done, but fell on the triple loop, the triple axel, and a triple flip with a quarter, and he unfortunately popped a single Lutz, unfortunately, instead of that triple Lutz that he wanted. But what I saw about this performance was that he was not devastated at the end. I think he was, in fact, pretty much smiling at the end and acknowledging that, yeah, that program was not perfect. And that is something I want to note because I feel like in the past, maybe he's been, maybe less open about his emotions right after a performance, and you can tell that he's been upset with it. But this time around, I feel like, there was a better mindset about it maybe, and, I really love to see that positive character growth in a sense. And everyone, we have a lot of people who really love Kevin Amos and root for him all the time despite all his inconsistencies. And I'm really hoping that support helps him as well. But I generally saw him smiling after his free skate, even though he had 3 falls and he had some other mistakes in there too. But still a really good program. The choreo sequence at the end was really iconic and, still really good components despite the technical mistakes in there. So yeah, that was Kevin Amos. In ninth place, we had Tomoki Hiwatashi from the US. The week before this, Tomoki Hiwatashi was fourth at Cup of China. He did drop down to ninth here at Skate Canada. I want to say that it's kind of blamed to competing two weeks in a row. That can often be kind of a thing for skaters to struggle with competing 2 weeks in a row. And that just has to do with scheduling sometimes. And it's definitely, I feel like that one is not Tomoki's fault. He just was a little less consistent than he was at Cup of China the week prior to this. He was clean in the short program, a very tight short program between the men, actually. He was clean with a ninth place short program. He did have 2 very, very slight errors on his last 2 spins. He was ninth place in the free skate. Some good parts, some bad parts. He didn't get the second quad toe down, only the double toe there. And he did get a quarter on the triple flip. And then 2 Vs are kind of incomplete spin rotations on the spins as well. I genuinely think that Tomoki Watashi is kind of building that repertoire, and maybe this is his season, and maybe in this Olympic season, he decided to kind of wake up and say, that Olympic spot for the Team USA is mine, because he has had really good results recently. I'm not gonna lie, his trajectory has been quite upwards, and so I really do enjoy seeing that growth. Okay. PIP mode is causing strain in your device. Oh. Okay, well, I don't know what it's actually saying. Okay, well, I hope my recording does not crash and fail. In 8th place here we had from Canada, Steven Gogolev. He was coming in here as a bit of a dark horse because he had a really good score at Nebelhorn Trophy. Here he was 7th in the short program with a clean skate. Maybe he would have liked to do that quad toe, triple toe instead of double, but good there. And then he was 8th place in the free skate. Just a couple tight landings on the jumps, quarter on the quad style, step outs on the quad toe, repetition call on another quad style. No falls, but yeah, the landings, I would say when I watched them, they were quite unsteady, I would say. He did get a really interesting triple flip, triple axle combo done, which is a really interesting one that obviously we don't see very often. But I really like that a lot for him, trying to go for those technical jumps. Yeah, the jumps are not maybe there all the way, but he didn't pop any of them. He literally got all of them done. So really just impressive for him to manage that. The step outs, yes, were an issue, but still very technically a very excellent performance for him. And so maybe he is kind of the next big thing in Canada. Very close in front of him, though, is from also Canada, Roman Sadowski, who was 7th here after a 10th place short program, quarter on the quad style, a fall on the triple lutz, triple toe with an under rotation, and then in 6th place in the free skate, quarters on a couple of jumps, and then a fall on a quad style with an under rotation. Um, a lot of people have been debating, I feel like recently, over who kind of deserves to go on the Canadian men's team. And for me, I do think Roman Sadowski is kind of the main person who kind of, I feel like, is almost, I think he should be given the spot, honestly, in my personal opinion. There is a lot of talent coming up from Steven Gogolev. There is that kind of question mark factor of Keegan Messing, who has come back. But Roman Sadowski has kind of been the leader of Canadian men now for a couple of seasons ever since the last Olympics. And so, he has shown in the past that he can put some good programs together. Just in August, he won his first senior international at the Cranberry Cup. And he is a really strong, very elegant skater. I do think that his components, like, I honestly think his components should be a little higher. I'm not gonna lie. I think his skating, especially like the presentation of his skating, I do quite enjoy. Obviously, it's not as subjective as just like liking it. There's like different criteria, but if I was a judge, I give him a little bit better components. But anyway, I do think Romanowski will be going to the Olympics for Canada again. I don't know, but not for sure, but you know what I mean. Okay. Okay. Okay, in sixth place was Nikolai Momola of Italy, which I do think that this was a bit of a surprising result for me. I did think he was gonna be on the podium, but he was here in sixth place for Italy. He was sixth place in the short program with an edge call on his quad flip, and then triple toe had a step out on it, and then he got a quad lutz and a triple axel done. So technically, he is actually very well, done. It's actually his components that actually kind of brought his score down here. He was fifth place in the technical score and 10th in the components actually. So that kind of shows you how the components are just as important in the end, and the components are really what brought his score down more than that mistake on his combo. But in the free skate, he was seventh to remain in sixth overall. Unclear edge under rotation on the quad flip. Popped quad lutz into a triple lutz. Quarter triple axle, quarter quad lutz, and the rest of the jumps were good. But, even in the levels, he just got level 3s on all his elements with levels here. The GOE on his choreo sequence wasn't as high as maybe he would have liked it. He was 6th in the technical here and 10th in the components in the free skate. So, maybe this was just a harsh technical panel, but I remember him getting higher components, I'm not gonna lie. But he's had a couple like up and down competitions this season. He had his very best score in September at Lombardia Trophy, and that score would have won him a medal here, would have won him silver here, but just maybe the technical panel was not it. His jumps were not on with him that day. Things like that really add up and led to this lower score than he would have liked, unfortunately. In fifth place here was Nika Igadze of Georgia, who was eighth place in the short program with just an error, a bit of an error, a probably step out on his quad toe. Yeah, bit of a step on his quad toe. He was third at Grand Prix de France. Maybe he was hoping to make it on the podium back here again, but unfortunately he was fifth after a fourth place free skate as well. A fall in the quad sal, unfortunately, that was quite a hard fall, and a couple rough landings on a couple of jumps that led to a bit of negative GOE. But otherwise, a really pretty solid-ish skater. His technical score is really, really high. Components are getting better, I want to say. Like, I genuinely want to say it's getting better. Like, I do think the performance is more there for Nikigadze than definitely last season. I remember his Oppenheimer skate, I think, and it literally had zero choreography. Like, I don't want to say zero, but I was just not feeling it. Not feeling it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. I do very much feel the choreography of this skater, Kazuki Tomono, in fourth place. This result actually kind of broke my heart. I'm not gonna lie. Kazuki was second in the short program with such a good short program, just a bit slight error on his quad sal, but really good overall. And then unfortunately, he was second. Oh, not second in the free skate. He was fifth in the free skate. This was so devastating. He had a fall on his quad toe, a fall and an under rotation on his quad sal, and a quarter on his loop. And then his very last spin, he very much kind of like stumbled out of his last spin. So devastating. But this free skate he brought back, I think, from the 2022-2023 season. This free skate is so stunning. It has to be one of the best programs of these 4 years, this quad, this Olympic cycle. I just thought this program was magnificent, and I'm glad that the judges gave him third in components. Yes, there were mistakes in the technical, but I genuinely thought this was such a beautiful program. I think Kazuki Tomono, I don't know, guys. He has been very close to making the Olympic team twice now, back in 2018 and back in 2022. And I would be devastated if he got left off the Olympic team for a third time because he works so hard, and I feel like he's gotten genuinely better at skating as he's progressed. And just, the new generation keeps on coming up. The quads just aren't as consistent for Kazuki as he would like them to be. And I enjoy his skating genuinely so much. He can do any style, any fun, any sad, any somber kind of style. And I just absolutely like just eat it up from Kazuki Tomono. I think he can just express all the emotions, but unfortunately so close to third here, but he was fourth here overall. In third place was a skater from Japan as well, who I think is a bit of a contrast from Kuzuki, and that is Kalmira, making up for that disappointment back in France. I think he was ninth place in France. Here he was third place in Canada with a fourth place short, just a step out on the quad toe, and then he had a third place free skate as well. Under rotations on the triple axel, triple sal, another triple axel, and slight step out on the triple loop double axel. But he got a very, very fast quad loop, quad sal, and quad toe done. His quads are very much very, very, very effective at rotating. So really good for him. Palmyra, a really good skater. You know, we saw that kind of poor-ish result, not the best result in France a couple weeks ago. To come back to Skate Canada and get third here is really, really good for him. And yeah, maybe the components maybe aren't as high as Kuzuki Kimono's. Maybe the components aren't as maybe developed in my opinion, but still a really good performance from Kalmira overall here at the Skate Canada. Okay. Okay, and then in second place from Estonia, this was a bit of a surprise result for me. In second place from Estonia was Alexander Selevko. He was third place in the short program with a clean skate, new personal best there. And second place in the free skate, landed a quad lutz there, quad toe. Did fall on an unrotated triple axel and got the repetition call on that. And did get an unclear edge on the triple flip. But otherwise, it was a really solid skate, a really clean skate. This was led to a new personal best in overall score as well. He has medal at Europeans before. He's had some pretty good accomplishments here and there. This was a really good result for him, and hopefully he's able to get a bit more consistency. I do see that he could make his way back to the European podium if he, continues to perform like this. Because this is a generally really good performance. His free skate was very angry, and it was interesting. It was angry. He stomped his fists a couple times. But yeah, Alexander Selevko in second place. In first place, this was an insane result, was Ilya Malinin of the US, the quad god, and this was such a competition that proved why he is called the quad god. He was first place in the short program, did get a quarter call on his quad lutz, but got a clean triple toe done. Very good, excellent technically, got quad flip, triple axel, quad lutz, triple toe, and then he came in the free skate and set a brand new world record because why not? He set a world record in the free skate, and this was absolutely insane. I feel like this score 228.97 is the highest program free skate score that we have ever seen. He set a world record there. He also set a world record in base value 100.17 and a record in the technical segment 138.49, and that is just absolutely insane. I literally had no words. I literally thought, wow, that was it's very much evident that he is the quad god. And he had a clean program, quad flip, triple axel, quad lutz, quad loop, quad lutz, Euler, triple flip, quad toe, quad sal, triple axel. That last jumping pass, the quad sal, triple axel, I put it out on Reddit that his last jumping pass has the most base value because it's probably the most difficult for him. Maybe among the most difficult. It's probably one of the more difficult elements in his program, and he has it as his last element, and he's still doing the backflips, doing the slides, doing all the cool tricks and stuff. It's just very much, it's actually crazy. But very, very good result from Ilya Malini here. It is one of those things that kind of telling me that I honestly do not see how anybody could defeat him if he skates as well as this at the Olympics. And this is even without a quad axel. He didn't perform a quad axel in either program here, which we know he is very much capable of doing. He did not perform a quad axel at either competition or either segment of the competition, and yet he still won by like 70 points. Like it feels made up. It's like 75 points or something. It feels made up. World record, personal best, overall, it feels made up. And the fact that he can even do more than that is very much unbelievable to me. Like, he's not done in a sense. He has more to do. Like, it's just revolutionary for the sport. And honestly, I could spend forever talking about it, but I feel like I couldn't do it justice. Just know that Ilya Molina set a world record in the free skate, and that's absolutely crazy. He's very close to the world record in overall score. Very crazy. But anyway, in third place here we had Kalmira, second place Alexander Selevko, and first place Ilya the Quad God Melinin, which was crazy. Anyway, let's move on to the women's competition because the women's competition actually wanted me to tear my own brains out. Because what the heck, bruh? What? Why? Why? Let's start off in let's start in ninth place. In ninth place here was Madeline Skeetus of Canada, the kind of reigning queen of Canada in a sense because she has been kind of on top of Canada for a very long time now since the last Olympics. It was very interesting here. She was 12th place in the short program, last place in the short. Did fall on a quad. She fell in her triple lutz and did also fall on the triple loop and did not get a combo. And so her score was very low with those two falls in the short program. Very much rallied back in the free skate. Ugh, bless me. Sorry, people. She was seventh place in the free skate with a fairly clean program. Would have liked to get a third combo in there, but did not get it on the first triple lutz. Just did the triple lutz. Didn't get that triple toe iconically done as she does. Unfortunately, no under rotation calls. This is important. No under rotation calls just for Maddie's excuses of this competition. Which I'm not saying as like a conspiracy theory just because she's Canadian. Just something to know. But I do feel like whenever Maddie excuses skates in Canada, she has a really good free skate and okay short program. I feel like this has happened at the past few skate Canadas. Like she'll have an okay short and then like a really good free, or the other way around. I remember back in 2022, she had a really good short and then a really meh free or something. Like it always happens like this. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. But yeah, Maddie sees us. I think she's probably going to the Olympics. I don't know if there's could be competition between her and Kaya Ryder, Sarah Dupuis, or Gabrielle Diamond even, but I think Maddie sees us is kind of sad. In eighth place here, we had Maria Senyuk. She was 10th place in the short here, under rotation on the triple flip, triple toe, and unclear edge on the triple lutz. She did seem quite shocked with her scores here. She was 8th in the free as well. Again, under rotation on the triple toe, triple sal, quarter on the triple lutz, unclear edge on both triple lutzes. Very interesting calls, which I think some of them, especially her Lutz Edge, I think is a fair call. I don't know if those under rotations were very, very under rotated. I don't know, people. But, just as judging panel, I don't know, guys. In seventh, in seventh place from the USA was Miss Sarah Everhart. I do think a lot of people were shocked at this result. Sarah Everhart is a really solid skater technically, and honestly, I think I rarely see her get under rotation calls. At least before this competition, before this one, she really got under rotation calls, and then suddenly, they're actually like, no, you do. She was seventh place in the short here with a fairly clean skate. Did get an under rotation on the triple let, triple toe at that first jump. A lot of people were angry about that. I honestly did not see the under rotation, maybe a quarter, but I don't know. Like I feel like she skated pretty well in that jumping sequence, and she went by really fast, so couldn't tell in real time. And I probably didn't watch the slowdown. I'm sorry. And then she was ninth place in the free skate. Every jumping pass had a mistake in this, which is very crazy for me because, again, like I said, she very much has the consistency. I call her the American Queen of Consistency for a reason because I don't know. Before this competition, it did not seem like she could not make a mistake technically. But here we are, under rotation triple toe, a fall on a double axle, which seemed to really shake her up. Unfortunately, quarter on a triple flip, quarter on a triple loop, under rotation on a triple loop, quarter on a triple lutz, and on a double loop, and under rotation on the triple out. Like, hello? Like, I don't know. I honestly, I understand that, yes, like maybe she has undertaken that the judges haven't been calling for a long time or something, but this seemed very extreme for me, and I feel like a lot of people are upset. A lot of people kind of blamed it, unfortunately, on that unfortunate fall she had on her double axel in the very beginning. That kind of maybe shook up her program, and I don't really know, but I think Sarah Everhart deserved better than ninth in the free skate. I think her jumps were a little harshly judged here. That's just what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, but I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. Just know that I'm saying it. Anywho, in sixth place here was I need this, guys. I need this so bad. Sixth place was Yuna Aoki of Japan, who so lovely 2 seasons ago, so lovely last season, so lovely this season. She was planning on retiring last season, but she is competing this season, and I want her to make the Olympics so bad. Even though, yes, her technical score is not as high, okay. Her sixth place short programs at Adios No Nino was beautiful. Yes, there was quarter on both the triple lutz and the triple loop, and yes, there was an under rotation on the unclear edge triple flip. Chris Howard on the ISU stream was very angry about that call. But anyway, Yuna Aoki was also sixth in the free skate, fall and quarter on the triple lutz, quarter on the triple sal, quarter on the triple flip, quarter on the triple lutz, quarter on the triple flip again. Under rotation on the under rotation on the double toe, and that one I can't remember what that one looked like. Not gonna lie. So anyway, La La Land, very beautiful. But honestly, like this, I don't know, these calls, man, like these calls, Aoki, her component should have been first. That's all I'm saying. Switzerland judge would have agreed with me. Switzerland judge put her components first. I think they should have put her in first for components. But at least the judges are fairly equal about like, hey, we should probably put her here. But I thought Aoki deserved better. That's all I'm saying. But all my favorites deserve better. Okay. In the fifth place here was Lara Naki Gutmann of Italy. I thought this was a very solid performance for Lara Naki Gutmann because she is very much kind of known for, I don't know. She has kind of been known for her weird programs, and I think recently that last season was a big turnaround for Lara Naki Gutmann. She got that bronze at Finlandia Trophy last season, and now I feel like she's very much on an upward rise. She was third place in the short here, did get a quarter call on her triple lutz, and then she was fifth place in the free, unfortunately. A quarter on the triple sal, a downgrade and a fall on a triple let, and a quarter on the what is that again? A quarter on the double axle, unfortunately. Um, but I thought this was a really good program. Perhaps it just wasn't the best in terms of that one downgrade and fall on the triple lutz, which I feel like the triple lutzes tends to be a good jump for her, so maybe just unlucky there or something. But for Laranaki Kuman, she is a good skater. She is a skater with a lot of, what do you say, confidence, I feel like, and I think that kind of is showing, and I think she's becoming a better skater, and I'm sure she's going to go to the Olympics. I feel like she is the most likely person from Italy to go. She has slight competition from Anna Pizzetta, but I think that she kind of established her very much higher scoring potential. I think she's gonna go. I don't know. Okay, in fourth place here overall from the US of A was Miss Brady Tennell of the USA. And she has a good story, right? She came back from injury after missing out on the 2022 Olympics. She couldn't go to those Olympics and back in 2022. She couldn't compete at US Nationals that year and get that spot. But now she's kind of back and she's trying to get onto that level again in the sense. And I think she's doing a really great job at it. She was fifth place in the short program here. This is a beautiful short program to Young and Beautiful by Lana Del Rey. Such a good program. Quarter on the triple lutz, under rotation on the triple toe. And then she was fourth place in the free skate for fourth overall. Again, a couple under rotations on her jumps, but everything was not popped at all. It landed relatively cleanly. Really solid skate from Brady Tennell. The score wasn't, as high as we would have liked in a sense, I guess. The score wasn't absolutely amazing. 195.07. I think she has an outside, very dark horse chance to make the Olympic team. not impossible, but at the same time right now, just not super duper likely compared to what some of the other leading women in the US have been scoring. But anything can happen. I think Brady Tell making the Olympics would be an amazing thing to happen. But I have too many favorites. I have too many favorites. I want to make the team. But anyway, and third place here was the champion of France 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks prior to this. But here she had not the best competition, not as good compared to France, unfortunately. But that was third place, Amy Nakai of Japan. She was fourth place in the show program. She went for that triple axel. She unfortunately fell on it. It wasn't under rotated, but she fell on it. And then she got a triple lutz, triple toe done with a quarter call on it. And so that really affected her GOE and just her overall score here was a lot lower than what she got back at France. She was a very good third place in the free skate. Did not do the triple axel, did a double axel with a bit of a step out on it. The rest of the program was relatively clean. She did get a quarter unclear edge on the triple flip in the second half of the program, but otherwise, a really good program and performance from Amy Nakai. I do remember when she won 2 weeks ago in France, there was kind of a lot of conversation. She's the next big thing. She's kind of this. She's kind of that. She wants to be this. She wants to be that. I don't know. In a sense, does that make sense? I don't know, but just that she's kind of very I don't know, she's been hailed up as the next big thing in Japan, and that is a big title to have. But, really good result here regardless. She's in her first senior season and she has won 2 Grand Prix medals at both of her events. That is something to be very accomplished about. And I hope the pressure from the audience and the fans just doesn't affect her too much. Because I feel like sometimes the pressure is like, oh, wow, you won one really big competition. Now you're going to win everything. And that's just not how the sport works, people. And we need to be understanding of that for the athletes. That's what I'm trying to say here. But aiming at Kai in third. In second place was the queen of tanning beds on vacation, Isabel Lovito. She was second place in the show program with an unclear edge on her triple flip. And then she was also second in the free skate with under rotations on the triple toe, the triple loop, and the triple lutz, and an unclear edge on the triple flip. Again, just kind of shows you how, a little tight the technical panel was. Yes, I do feel that Isabel Lovito does have a bit of a reputation for under rotating a couple of her jumps. This technical panel very much made sure that those calls were called, but the jumps that she didn't do with mistakes, she had a really good GOE on them. Even the double axel got a point in GOE. That's a very difficult jump, of course, to get a whole point of GOE on because the base value was so low. She was second place in components with a new personal best in the components, which is really good. This is where Isabel should be. I feel like in this season, she's scoring here 209.77, and that is a solid result. And I don't think anything is wrong with that at all. It's a really solid result for her. Really solid result to end off the Grand Prix season. Yes, she was fourth back in France, second back here in Canada. She is probably not going to make the Grand Prix final, but still, really good result for Isabel Vito overall. Very impressed with her. Again, still very connected to the elegance and the vibe and the mood of her skating. In first place here was Moni Chiba of Japan, who I feel like is very much the Japanese queen of consistency, the Japanese Sarah Everhart, if you will. Here she was first place in the show program with a clean program, except for an unclear edge on the the triple lutz. And then she was first in the free skate. This confused me, and I feel like it confused a lot of people. She got a new personal best, despite having 4 quarter calls in this program. She got a quarter call on the triple toe, a quarter on the triple lutz and the double loop, and a quarter on the triple flip. Yet somehow she still got a new personal best. And yeah, maybe you're saying, oh, it's because of components. Yes, the components are very high, but I almost feel like I don't know. It was a little unrealistic for me. I was like, she's getting all these quarter calls, yet she got a new personal best. Um, let's see, her last personal best. Oh gosh, where can I find that information? Where is it? Her last personal best was a couple weeks ago, a month ago, and there she only had 1 quarter call in the free skate, so it was a little bit confusing, and the components were like not way higher. It wasn't actually way higher at all, but I don't know, just a little confusing on the scoring for me. I will say this is a very beautiful program. This is her Romeo and Juliet program, at first when I saw it, I didn't like it, but I think this performance really turned me around. I just thought she carried so much speed throughout the eyes. She carried so much emotion throughout the eyes. I thought it was a really good performance from Moni Chiba here. Last season, I think she was really focused on the technical part and really getting that consistency done. And this season, I do think her components are very, very well done. Choreography is very well done. And Romeo and Juliet's a good classical work for her, and I think she's telling the story well. I just thought it was very fast. That's what I thought. She was moving so fast across the ice. That was my initial thought. But that was the women's event. Third place, Amy Nakai. Second place is Bolavito. And first place, Monet Chiba. Let us skedaddle over to our pairs event. This was a very, also a very interesting event. Let's start in fourth place with the Canadian team of Pereira and Michaud, who have been kind of on and off the circuit for a while, on and off the competitions. And they've been. I remember their I think first full season together. They qualified for Grand Prix final. They had a really good success that very first season together. Ever since then, they've been pretty decent, but maybe haven't returned to those results just yet. They were third in the short program here with a new personal best, all clean there for them. They were fifth place in the free skate, unfortunately. Errors on their side by side jumps, just doing a triple axel waltz jump and then a triple sal. Errors on their quad loop and then quad loop, triple loop throw, and then a fall on their triple flip throw. So just the jumping elements were the issue here. But the rest of the elements, again, not the spins, the lifts are a really strong element. I feel like for Pereira and Michaud, I do find them to be quite strong lifters, lifting partnered. I don't know. But very strong program for Pereira and Michaud. And this result, the fourth place was pretty good still. Not a bad result at all. In third place here was the United States, the the American team, the United States. What is that happening in the yard, people? I don't know. The American team of Ellie Cam, Danny O'Shea, they were fourth in the short here, with under rotation on their triple sal and a triple loop that just had a bit of a bobble to it. And then they were second with a new personal best free skate actually. Yikes. They looked very happy with this skate. They were very clean except for a triple sal double axle quarter call on that last jump. But otherwise, they got everything else done. The pair elements are strong with this team. Got both of their throws done. Didn't get any positive Dewey or negative Dewey on that triple flip throw, but still a really solid skate for Cam and O'Shea. And they got a Grand Prix medal. Is this their first together? I don't know if this is their first Grand Prix medal together. No, they got. Oh yeah, they got two. What am I saying? They got two last year because they got to go to Grand Prix final. That's right. But very good for Cam and O'Shea. In second place here, this might have been a bit of a shock, unfortunately, but in second place here was the team of Hasse and Bolden of Germany, who they are the current world number ones. They are also the world silver medalists. They were first place in the short here with a clean skate. Their free skate was just a little unfortunate. Major mistakes in the free skate, unfortunately. A fall on their triple toe, and then I forgot who fell in it. I think Nikita Volodin fell in the triple toe, and then Hasse did another waltz jump, which did not get counted, and so just negative GUE, unfortunately. The rest of it was okay until a fall on the triple flip throw, so that added more to their negative GUE. So those two mistakes combined, and I think this is what makes pairs quite interesting in this sense because a lot of the pairs are very well matched in the technical side of things. They are all performing kind of the same lifts, the same spins, the same jumps, etc. most of the time. And so those, nitty-gritty details in that one fall and actually those two falls really cost them the program, unfortunately. At least the main title. They would have won if they had those clean, but that's how fine the details get. But I don't worry about Hassan Valena. Maybe this was just one bad skate for them, and they will build back strong for sure. They will build back really strong. Yeah, definitely could be Olympic champions. I don't know. Another team that could be Olympic champions is the first place team here of Salado and Deschamps of Canada, winning at home here. Very good result for them. They were second in the short program with just a bit of a bobble on their side by side triple toes. They were first in the free skate. very good triple toe, double axle, side by sides done. They are a team that has struggled on their side by sides before, but that was really strong for them. And then they got a double sal done instead of a triple sal, but that's okay. And then their last spin did get called level base, so that was kind of unfortunate, but a very good skate for them. They still achieve a season's best, along with the season's best and overall score, and they got to win at home. Thinking about Slaughter Champ, I do feel like they have that opportunity to become Olympic champions. I think there's so many pairs right now. Not so many, but I feel there's a lot of big pairs right now, and the pair scoring potential is very, very high or very, very low. And here they did defeat Halsey and Volodin very much due to their own strengths, but also Halsey and Volodin's mistakes. If both teams were clean, 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 that would be, kind of an enigma, a little bit difficult to figure out who exactly would place above who. But, it all comes down to what happens on the day of competition. I think that's the main thing. So a bit of interesting dynamics in the pairs competition around the world here. But in third place was Cam O'Shea, second place Hase Bulletin, and first place Delata and Deschamps. Now let's end off with the least chaotic discipline, ice dance, because the ice dance here was relaxing, and not relaxing, but it was it was fine. The ice dance here was genuinely fine. Let's see here. What do I want to talk about first, people? Okay, I want to talk about, who do I want to talk about? I think I'm going to talk about, I don't know where to start. Let's start off in 8th place with the team of Van Rensburg and Stefan of Germany as well. They were 8th place in the rhythm dance. Hello? Oh, with a clean skate, and then 7th place in the free dance with a clean skate. The scores of the teams from 5th to 8th place were very, very close. I feel like these orders could have been switched up a little bit, and certainly the judges were a little all about all of them, you know what I mean? They're always, yeah, 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 yeah. 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 What do I want to say about them? I don't know what I want to say about Van Rensburg and Stefan. I almost feel like they have flown a lot under the radar for me, and I don't know why. I feel like I need to start watching more of their programs because they have been together for quite a while. They're not a new team or anything. Maybe I just need to watch more of Van Rensburg and Stefan. I haven't watched a lot of their programs, I feel like. But they are a pretty solid team for what I know, and they've qualified to World Free Skate, and they're going to Olympics probably and everything. So yeah, maybe some new homework for me to do. In 7th place was the Canadian team of L'Oreal and Legac. L'Oreal and Legac, they were 7th here in the rhythm dance with a good skate. Okay, nothing is loading, so I actually don't know if they had good skates or not. But I'm assuming they had good skates. They had good skates, guys. Just trust. They had good skates. Again, levels, whatever. They were 7th place in the free skate as well. What I want to talk about in terms of the interactions and ice dance is in Canada they have 3 spots, and I do feel like there are kind of 4 teams in Canada who can take those spots. Gilles and Poirier and Lejoie and Lagat are probably gonna take 2 of them. We'll talk about them later. Laura Legac or Fabry and Ayer could take the 3rd spot. Either of them, I feel like, and they have similar scoring in the past and everything. And I don't know. I don't know who's gonna make it, guys. I don't know, but I do feel like Laura and Legac have the stronger track record overall, in a sense. So maybe that will lead to it. I don't know. The young Koreans, they have made a very large impact on the world stage. The young Koreans of Lim and Kwan were 6th place here. They were 6th place in the rhythm dance, and then a 5th place in the free skate. And so, hello. They were 6th in the rhythm dance, 5th in the free skate. And so really solid for them. I do like that we have that kind of example of a younger team maybe still doing very, very well on that on this what am I trying to say? On the world stage, because there is kind of this reputation that you have to wait your turn in ice dance and wait your turn to be part of the best in ice dance. And I do think that Lim and Kwan kind of break that because yeah, they haven't been the best, but they still have shown that they have been a junior team and yet they still have achieved very big goals in figure skating for sure. A similar thing for the fifth place team, the Czech team of Mrazkova and Mrazek. They were fifth in the rhythm dance, and they were also gosh, I cannot see. They were fifth in the rhythm dance with a clean skate, and they were eighth in the free dance, which you'd think would drop them a lot, but everyone was very close again from fifth to eighth. But they were eighth place in the free dance. Let's see, why is it not loading? I don't like when things don't go my way. Oh, it's fine. They were eighth place in the freedoms. They did get an error on their rotational lift, which was a little too long, and they also extended lift, yeah, and they got a deduction for a fall, and they almost got a choreo restriction requirement cut off. So those two deductions really, lowered their score a little bit, but did not impact their overall standing overall in that sense, just in that free dance. Okay, and then from first to fourth place, a lot of talked about here, I would say. In fourth place here was the team of Carrera and Ponomarenko, the American team. They were third place in the rhythm dance here with a really solid skate, and in all honesty, a solid skate from Carrera and Ponomarenko. I think their free dance was, maybe on the lower side of what we have, maybe normally seen from the team. Not the usual maybe scores that we've seen from the team. They were fourth overall. This was quite different than, for example, from Cup of China. That team of Zingis and Kolesnik from the US as well did very, very well. And about 10 points higher than this, of course. And obviously there were different judging panels, but I almost feel like, it's ice dancing in the US is interesting. Chocolate Bases are the top. Zingis Kolesnik made that very big move last week in Cup of China. Carrera Ponomarenko could be very much making a big move, or maybe this lower score shows something else. The levels aren't as high, maybe. The ship sibs are back, which is a whole nutshell, a whole can of worms. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is US Ice Dance is very competitive. I do still think Carrera and Ponomarenko are still going to make the Olympic team unless something like bad, like, I don't know. Nothing. Pray not. Pray not. In third place overall, though, was the Canadian team of La Joie and La Ga of Canada, the Canadian team of Canada. Yeah, great. They were fourth place in the rhythm dance here. I believe they had a error. I believe a small error. What was it again? On the Twizzles or something. Oh no, it was a little bit too long, or on their choreo rhythm. Oh gosh, what do you call that element? The choreo rhythm sequence. Right? The choreo rhythm sequence. And so they got a little bit lower GWE than they would have liked on that. And so that's why they were in third or fourth in the rhythm dance. They were a very good third in the free dance. This is their Nodayev free dance. They brought it back, the white crow free dance. Different from, not different. This is something they're bringing back, kind of reviving. I don't remember this program too well, I'm not gonna lie, but I liked it when I saw it because I think there was a lot of tension in this program. I think it was very conflicting, very conflicting. I think that's kind of what they needed almost because, um, what was it? I liked their Sound of Silence. I liked their Roses program. I remember their Rio program back at the Olympics, and I remember that. Oh, that was so much fun. That was so cool. But this program is very, very well done, very tense, very interesting. It's a lot of interesting movements, and just I don't know. I don't know what it is about Les Walaga, but I've liked them a lot more recently. I think they've actually genuinely developed as skaters very well, and they've grown in that sense very well. So yeah, yeah. And second place was the Lithuanian team. This is a really good result for the Lithuanians. Reed and Rulevicius from Lithuania. They were second in the rhythm dance with a clean, clean. Will it load? It was clean. I know it was clean for a fact. It was a clean rhythm dance. And first place in the free dance. Actually, they were actually first in the free dance by about 3 points, which is really impressive for them. And yeah, I think I like this episode. I have not been able to form coherent thoughts, but my thoughts on Reed and Blevicius are that they are a very good team. They are a very solid team, and they are a good team. um, Yeah, they recently qualified the Olympic spot for Lithuania, obviously, back at the Olympic qualification event. They are very likely to go to the Olympics for Lithuania. And I don't know, I feel like they've been one of the wholesome ice dance, positive power stories we've seen in this last quad. And I really enjoyed it. They won that Europeans medal in Lithuania at home. That was a really good moment. Just good moments from their team after disappointment of not going to the last Olympics. In first place overall was Gillis and Poirier. They were first from Canada. They were first in the rhythm dance with their RuPaul theme free rhythm dance, which is quite an experience. And they were second in the free dance. This is their Vincent free dance from about 6 seasons ago, before the last Olympics. And they are kind of, I think it's called Vincent Revived or Revised or something, Revitalized. I actually don't remember, but this is their Vincent Van Gogh themed free dance, and it is beautiful. I remember watching it. I just think it's a good program for them. They were in second in the free dance. They did have a mistake. Unfortunately, they did struggle getting up into the curve lift at the in the middle of the program, unfortunately, and that got negative Dewey. It was very shaky going up, and luckily no major accident or fall or anything, but still unfortunately did not get a level 4, only got a level 1 with negative GUE, which is not what they would have wanted for sure. But their last spin, the rotational lift into stationary lift, was very, very impressive. Okay. So yeah, in the ice dance event was third place Le Joie Laga, second place Reed M. Luvicius, and first place Gilles and Poirier. You know, pretty interesting results from ice dance. Lower scoring than the other two Grand Prix events, I would say, for ice dance, but still really good results. I don't know. I'm interested to see how scoring potential and scoring will work. This was a very eye-opening event in terms of scoring and how split it can be, and I'm interested in that regard. But anyway, thank you for listening to episode number, what is that, 93 of a Tea Toss Game podcast. My name is Van Gogh. I hope you enjoyed listening to me rant all about Skate Canada 2025 and all that chaos. Next week, we travel to the other side of the world again for the NHK Trophy in Osaka, Japan. There are a lot of big names there as we get closer and closer to the Grand Prix final, especially with the return of the Shib Sibs. And so I'm really excited to talk more about that. But I'll hear from you next week. I think this episode's like an hour long, and I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. Okay, bye bye. Bye bye. And bye bye. Is that how you say it? And bye bye.